with this upcoming pass of the space station. So this particular screen here is showing you a map of the Earth. You'll see that, and then it's got these curvy lines that show the path of the International Space Station. And that really does make it look like the space station is going in sort of like an up and down and left and right. It really isn't doing anything like that. It is just orbiting around the Earth in pretty much a circle, almost a perfect circle, just a little bit off a perfect circle. And what you're seeing there is the ground track of the space station. And I'm going to ask someone close to me here, can you see what country it is near right now? So, all right, so I think you're still going to have to shout it out. What country is it near right now? Yes, you in the blue shirt. Africa, that's right. It's just off the southern tip of Africa, and it's technically probably in the Indian Ocean right now. So it's all the way over there, but you see at the very top, it tells you that the space station is 48 minutes away from us right now. Can you imagine that? It's all the way over in Africa, but in 48 minutes, it will be passing by us. And that's the moment that we will get a chance to actually speak to that astronaut, Luca, as he's above us. So it also has some various other things on there. It's showing you when the next sunset is. One of the coolest things about this is that there is live video from the International Space Station whenever it is in daylight. And what you see then are live views of the Earth from space wherever it is around the world. Now, when it passes by us, we also usually get an opportunity to see live video of us when the space station is passing by. We're not going to have that displayed today because we want to focus on the contact here, so we want to make sure that that's got the most important view for you here. So we'll be going over that. But let me just bring this little video up. I just want to show you a little animation of the International Space Station, because there may be some people here that haven't really sort of looked into this a lot, but what you're seeing up here is a 3D animation, so this isn't real time, but it shows you a tour around the International Space Station. The space station is about the size of a football field, so it's gigantic, but most of that space is taken up by the solar panels, but what we're seeing here are pointing out the modules where astronauts live and work and sleep and play. And and Luca is probably going to be, do you know which module the ham radio was in?
Probably the Russian, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, say that again?
Probably the Russian.
Yeah, so it's probably the Russian module. So the ham radio system on the space station is a backup. I'm going to let Norm here say the biggest thing about that, because that's his area of expertise. So that's just showing you a little bit of a tour of the space station. And then the next thing I wanted to bring up was a little video of what it's like to spacewalk. And I'm actually going to bring up a little video from, this is the two astronauts, the two women astronauts. And this is where we'll need the audio up, Norm. Is the audio up on this? There we go.
Those that paved the way for us to be where we are today, we just have just the utmost appreciation for them. And I think we just pay homage to the fact that they allowed us to do what we do today and to achieve the dreams that we have.
It was really an incredible experience, and it's difficult to put it into words, the mixture of emotions and feelings that you have when you're going out the door the first time. But I will never forget that moment coming out the hatch and looking down and seeing just my boots and the earth below, and it was such a spectacular and beautiful sight. It was really quite overwhelming, and we went out and did the job that we had to do, and we were lucky enough to have some time to enjoy the view as well.
I've definitely drawn encouragement from mentors that I can see reflections of myself in throughout my life, and so recognizing that We may be offering that for future space explorers or explorers of any kind or anyone pursuing a dream was definitely a privilege and an honor.
I think that we do recognize it is a historical achievement. It does carry a lot of weight to other people. And for us, you know, when we see that many times in our lives, it does make a difference if somebody can identify with somebody, something about them, some kind of shared experience with them, whether it's something similar to their background or experiences or what they look like or the fact that they have long curly brown hair, who knows. If sometimes that makes it easier to have an inspiration, have a connection and motivation for something great.
We're in sort of a new chapter now where we've crossed that line and now 2 women have done it. And so hopefully it'll become commonplace and it won't even necessarily be something that's a big deal down the road.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. Who wants to give a round of applause for the first all-woman spacewalk? Yeah. Awesome. And I wanted to underline this astounding fact. So for all of you that were watching that live, I wanted to know the International Space Station with those astronauts, Jessica and Christina, were outside the space station for almost 7 hours. And 3 times they were over your school while they were doing that. So they were floating around the space station, repairing a battery system, and they were passing right above your school 3 times during that spacewalk. Just want to check in, how much time have I got left?
1 minute.
1 minute, okay. So I'm going to quickly, just for grins, I'm just going to display this video. Who's got a fidget spinner? Hold up your hand. Yeah, that's right. For those of you who are watching this remotely, the entire hall, every student almost has lifted up their hand. Yeah, this is a video showing what happens when you mess around with a fidget spinner in space. So, for the scientifically inclined, this is giving you a view into conservation of momentum when you are holding on to something that's spinning in microgravity. I love that bit. Yeah, the head goes out. And just, we'll finish this, but I'll cut it short. I will, just because, who here doesn't like pizza? Who likes pizza? Yeah, everybody, there we go. So, just wanted to show you, this is an example of how you do play with your food when you're in space. Wouldn't that be one of the coolest things? It's like your mom or your dad, they can't tell you not to play with your food in space. And, but the most popular food category for any astronaut is actually tacos. They mostly put their food inside tacos because it's really easy to eat that way. And they like to put on a lot of hot sauce. Who knew? Anyway, all right, that's it. With that, it's a bit dark, but the guy in the middle is another Italian astronaut. I'm not sure whether he won. I think the one with more pepperoni won. All right, with that, I'll hand it over to the next person in line, but looking forward to that contact coming up soon.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we want to do a test run with all of you here of what it's going to sound like when the astronaut is ready for us. Can we do that? Yeah! Yes, so we have our amazing ham radio team. So this is going to be our astronaut, Brian. He's going to go outside with his ham radio, and we're going to pretend that he's the astronaut while we test all of our equipment. We also have Norm. Would you like the mic? All right. And so what we are going to do is we have our 10 chosen students right up here. And so they're going to line up. Come on in.
You're going
to line up in the blue lines.
Charlie Hotel
In your
Sierra.
order. Go ahead.
Over.
KN6 I got you, AB6 showing.
And so we had a question competition with all of you. Who remembers writing questions for us about what you would ask an astronaut on the International Space Station? And so what we did with your questions is we cut them all out and we put them on the art that's on the wall.
Ready, go ahead.
So you can later, when we're done, you can look at your question. Good to go?
Yeah, we're going to get started with the first question.
Hey, my name is Amara, and my question is, how long does it take to get back to Earth?
Good question, it takes a long time. Next question.
Hi, my name is Melody, and my question is, what encouraged you to be an astronaut? Over.
Good question, and thanks for saying over. Next question, please.
Hi, my name is Savannah, and my question is, how does it feel to be in space? Over.
Really good job and good voice. You sounded really great. Next question, please.
Hi, my question is, what do you do in space when there's danger? Over.
Okay, sounds good. You did really good asking your question. Slow down and say the word slow, and you'll be great. Next question.
Hi, I'm Haiti, and my question is, do you celebrate any holidays up in space? Over.
Another good question. Maybe they'll have trick-or-treating in space. What do you think? Next question.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and my question is, what did you study when you were growing up? Over.
All right, you sounded really good. And next question, please.
Hi, I'm Melanie, and my question is, what do you need to be worried or alert about when on these station? Over.
Okay, good question. You guys are doing really great. Next question, please.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and my question is, what are the most important jobs in the space station? Over.
Okay, everybody has an important job, that's for sure. You guys do too. So next question, please.
Hi, I'm Nicholas, and my question is, do the astronauts at the ISS get older faster or slower, or is it aging the same? Over.
Okay, good question. And let's move to the next one.
Hi, I'm Andrea. My question is, how do you communicate with your family, and do you ever miss them? Over.
Okay, I think everybody's misses their family when they're on a vacation, huh? Next question.
Hey, my name is Amara, and my question is, how do you sleep and where do you sleep?
All right, good question. Yes, hard when there's day and night every 90 minutes. Next question.
Hi, I'm Melody, and my question is, when you were younger, did you want to be an astronaut? Over.
I sure did. Next question.
Hi, I'm Savannah, and my question is, how did you become an astronaut?
Okay, another good question. Boy, that's a tough one. All right, next question, please.
Hi, and my question is, what do you do when you take a break in space? Over.
Okay, good question. Nice loud voice. I like it. Next one, please.
Hi, I'm Haiti, and my question is, can you do your work in space without your work floating away? Over.
Yeah, I can't do it on Earth without floating away. I'm so messy. Next question.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and my question is, who would you thank for helping you to accomplish your dreams? Over.
That's a great question. All right, you guys did good. Any more questions?
We do still have more, but if you're sounding good, then maybe we can pause for now.
Okay, as long as everybody's checked out and everybody's happy, you want to go ahead and call it quits for right now?
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, this is KN6CHS over and out.
All right, so AB6 July clear for now.
Good morning, everyone. Are you guys all ready to talk to an astronaut? Yes! Good. Somebody told you already, but do you know who we're going to be talking to? space station is? Okay. The guy in the black shirt right here. Yes. How big is it? It's as big as a football field. You got that right. Good job. There's a picture of the space station up here that we'll show you some more things in a minute. But first I'd like to talk a little bit about the radio equipment. Or actually, Brian, would you come up and talk a little bit about what we have set up here and talk about ham radio a little bit?
Well, hey you guys, I'm Brian. My call sign is AB6UI. And that's kind of important because in order to be a ham radio operator, you need to get a license from the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC. It's not hard to get. And a lot of kids, even your age, have their license, okay? You have to study a little and you do have to take a test. But the thing is that what's special about today's contact is, you know, NASA has all sorts of very fancy ways that they can talk to the astronauts. They have a whole nother group of satellites in orbit called TDRS, which is Tracking and Data Relay Satellites. But today, we're going to be talking to an astronaut who has a ham radio. Hand me one, Ron. Hand me one of my radios. He's on a phone call. Okay. Now, just like this, basically on the International Space Station. And it's hooked up to an outside antenna. But obviously, you can see the ham radio radios that we'll be using here on the ground today. And so, this is a lot different than the way that NASA normally talks to the astronauts through their fancy super $1 million antennas. The radio like this only costs $25. So you guys could really listen to it. Rita, one of the teachers here, she heard it. Where are you, Rita? You heard it, didn't you, on one of these radios? Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, it's a fun hobby, and it teaches you a lot of stuff. And the way we'll be talking is using this ham radio, or amateur radio, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to watch a video in a little while, and the kids describe about ham radio a little more, and I think you'll really like that too. Okay? Who's next? A video?
Not quite. Yes. Wanted to do what?
Well, yeah, so one of the things is anytime you do anything in outer space, things can and will go wrong. And so we actually have two completely separate antennas. We actually have three antennas on the roof and two completely separate and different ham radios. So if one of them were to fail, we could still switch to the other radio and be able to continue with the contact. So when you do things in space, a lot of times with like a satellite, you can't go up there to fix it. So you have to make sure you have a redundant system. And that means having two systems that will work. And we have that set up here. So today we're going to be using this radio as our primary, and I think it'll work out well. And if something should happen, we can always go to this radio, okay? Does that make you happy, Denise? We talked about primary and redundant. Yeah, I don't get any respect. Let me tell you. Trying to get a video going? Oh yeah, okay, so that's right. All right, I'll remind you. So, you know, like you guys have special things you say on your phone, like LOL and BFF and text message shortcuts. Well, in ham radio, we have similar things. So rather than say good wishes or thank you for talking to me, we just say 73s. So just for fun, do you think I should test this? With this many people, it could get really loud. All right, so you say 73s really loud. So on the count of three, and I want it loud, go ahead and use your outside voices. Now when we're talking, we're going to be really quiet. But at the end, when we ask you to say 73, this is what I want to hear. 1, 2, 3. 73! That was pretty good. I don't think they need to practice that anymore. That was really good. That was great, you guys. Okay, ready for the video? All right.
Okay, we're going to watch a short video. Some students explaining what it's going to be like when we go through this event. Just 1 second.
Hi, my name is Ruth. And my name is Chris. You must be pretty excited to talk directly with astronauts on the International Space Station today. While we're waiting for the space station to come over your portion of the sky, let's talk a little bit about how it's going to happen. Of course, Mission Control is in contact with astronauts all the time, using a big radio with lots of fancy equipment.
However, we're going to be using something very different today. We are going to use ham or amateur radio to talk directly to the International Space Station.
When most people hear the word radio, they think of a music radio station. But it's so much more than that. Radio actually refers to the unseen energy that transmits all sorts of signals using electromagnetic waves. At first, people learned how to send signals like Morse code. And then they discovered that you can send so much more, like data, computer signals, and even TV.
Maybe you don't realize it, but you use radio every day. Maybe you watched the TV this morning, or you texted your friends, or maybe even you checked social media like Twitter or Instagram.
Let's travel back to space for a minute. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have sent many spacecraft out into the universe. These range from the Hubble Space Telescope, orbiting the Earth daily, and the Curiosity rover exploring Mars. We've even sent a long-distance messenger, the Voyager 1, who has traveled outside of our solar system.
Whether it's capturing a great picture of a far-off galaxy or conducting experiments on the space station, radio has to do with all of these. And today, you're going to be using ham radio. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is ham radio?
Amateur or ham radio is a service and a hobby where operators can talk to people around their neighborhoods, their cities, their country, and even around the world. Amateur radio operators require a radio license from the government. They're not that hard to get. I have one. My call sign is KM4LAO.
And mine is KD8YUJ. Our call signs are a way of identifying who we are to other operators. This lets everyone know that we have the proper license to using the radio.
As amateur radio operators, or hams as we are often called, we can talk with others about basically whatever we want. Often science or some new radio gadget that we are interested in.
Let's focus back to the space station and your contact today. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the space station are licensed ham radio operators. That's why your operators today can contact them. The people here, as well as the astronauts, are licensed to talk to each other, and you are allowed to talk over to their radio.
For our conversation today, we'll need an amateur radio station on the ground, either in this location or somewhere else around the world. We'll also need a radio in the space station.
Anyone SS?
You can hear the calls coming. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
On the space station, the radio transceiver is connected to an amateur radio antenna mounted on the outside. One of these antennas will be used today during our contact.
For our side of the contact, we need a good-sized antenna, a signal amplifier, something to make our signal stronger, and a rotator for turning our antenna. We have to keep our antenna pointed right at the International Space Station. And remember, it's moving across the sky and fast.
To aim the antenna properly, we need to track the path of the space station exactly. NASA uses complex systems to track the path of the space station and other orbiting objects.
The satellite tracking program we are using works out a complicated set of mathematics to provide the orbital location of the space station moment by moment as it moves through space. This information is sent into the computer that controls the antenna rotator, which moves the antenna to follow the space station. Maybe some of you have seen or worked with robotics. That's pretty cool stuff. And just like you can program a robot where to go, what to do, and how to get there, you can also program a computer to tell an antenna how to track the space station across the sky.
You know, it took a lot of planning to get this contact. Several weeks ago, the ARIS operations team had to figure out when the space station's orbit would pass over this location. Then, they had to talk with the planners at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The cruise time is pretty full, so they were able to find a time that could work for the crew members' schedules. Once they found times that would work both in space and here on the ground, the host organized this contact. And in just a few minutes, you'll be hearing and talking to the astronauts.
Well, it's almost time for your contact. It will be exciting, so good luck with it.
Okay, so what we've done here today is to set up a lot of what NASA has, only on amateur radio equipment. We have the transmitters and receivers, we have the computers, several computers around here are tracking the ISS right now as it's going across the sky, so we know exactly where it is. And at about 11:57 this morning is when they should be over us, and we'll start to be able to talk to them. So you'll see us starting to call them first, and at first you may not hear an answer. That's not necessarily a problem because sometimes we start calling before they actually can hear us. We can't hear them until they come over the horizon, and so that we can see them off in the distance. They'll be thousands of miles away, but we'll still be able to talk to them. As they continue, does anybody know how fast they go? Why don't you shout it out? 17,000. That's right. I know a lot of you have gone over this many times, but 17,000 miles an hour. That means they go around the world 16 times a day, and they're going 10 times the speed of sound, or 25 times the speed of a bullet. So they're really going fast. And that means that they go from one side of the sky to the other side of the sky in about 10 minutes. It depends on how high the pass is. I believe today we've got about a 60-degree pass. So it'll be off, it'll be going this direction, and we'll be tracking them. We install the antennas up on your roof that move to follow the space station as it goes by.
You can see the antennas from the roof. If you go out by that tree over there.
Right. If you go out by the tree, you'll be able to see those antennas up on the roof. We'll be up there after this event taking them down, so you'll see us up there as well. And what else? Anything else I need to tell them?
Do you want to introduce some of your people that are here today?
Sure. This is Brian, AB6UI.
From the Hughes Amateur Radio Club.
From the Hughes Amateur Radio Club. And Ron. AG6ST. Also from the Hughes Amateur Radio Club. And where is Daryl? How about any other hams that are here? Please stand up. Diana. Diana is our ARRL section manager. She, the group that's over all ham radio, she's the LA section manager. She's in charge of all ham radio for Los Angeles County. Are there any other special people we should be introducing? Anybody?
So over here is a representative from Congresswoman Karen Batts. There we go. So, and there's three of us. Would you mind coming up? I think we may have time. There's a very special gift that's going on here. Daryl, can you come up with you? Because you were part of this little mission impossible that we gave everyone. Daryl's running up here. He's the one that's niftily coming up here. Thank you so much for coming along here. So it was Daryl's idea to go and find the local congresswoman's office, and we went there on Friday, Can you imagine this? The impossible request was to come here because this is so important for you students. We wanted to reach out to your office to see whether you could come down and present some special awards to the students here. So I'll hand it over to you for just a second. And,
Woohoo! Well, thank you, Liam and Daryl. We wouldn't have known about this exciting event if you hadn't thought of us and taken the trouble to come and include Congresswoman Bass in this event. So thank you very much. I have a question for all of the students here. Congresswoman Karen Bass represents you and your families. If you go to Vermont Avenue Elementary School, you live in the area that she represents. What is the city where she represents you? Can you say it all together if you know? She's a congresswoman and a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Shout out what city she represents you in. Washington, D.C. is where she represents you. That was not a wrong answer. She represents you here in Los Angeles. But she's in Washington, D.C. in the Congress voting on your behalf, trying to make things happen that'll help the families here in Los Angeles in her district. And so we want to take official notice of this. It's a lot of federal money that's controlled by the Congress, that's given to the NASA program, to the space station program. And so we wanted to take notice of how that money is being used. So we would like to call up Principal Patricia Ferguson, give her a certificate on behalf of Congresswoman Bass. We'd also like to call up DJ Cast, who's with the program here, the USC Young Scientist program, and give DJ a certificate. We'd like to, and we'd like to take special notice. We'll come back and get Ms. Pratt and Ms. Barakai. But all of the 10 kids who are going to be taking part, we have certificates for you too. So if you would come up and join us. Melody, in this order. Melody Castro. And Demarion Boyd. Stay up here, guys. Heidi Lopez. Jaden Baldwin. Andrew Duran. Nicolas Carrillo. Andrea Marin. And Melanie Martin. Savannah Juan. Isaac Sanchez. All right, and let's get a picture of how wonderful these certificates look with all of these kids, because we are really proud of you. And the Congresswoman wanted to take special notice that you were selected. Wait a second, we got a little guy back here who's you're gonna be lost. There, let's turn your shoulder. There we go. There we go, don't want to miss you out of the picture. There we go. All the guys in front, get down on one knee. Here we go. And then you can come over here a little bit behind him. Sorry, watch out for the cord here. A little bit more.
My camera, I was bump it, you die. No, don't hurt you.
opportunity to thank our Director of Schools, Dr. Denise Pratt. Can you just wave to, so she is here. She has been a great support to our school throughout the years. And this is an extremely joyful and exciting event, and she is here to experience that with us. So thank you very much, Dr. Pratt. Okay, since there is time, we do have a couple of minutes. Okay, did we introduce you, boys and girls? No, okay, you know what, let's do that then. I'm gonna call you. Okay, we have how many? 13 minutes? Okay. Okay, so then, come on over again. I'm gonna get your certificates up, just like this, so you can show them off. I'm gonna introduce you so we all know. Come on, Demaria Boyd. Okay, so Demaria Boyd, can you go stand over there? Can you give a round of applause? Melanie Castro. Savannah Juan, show your certificate, please. Isaac Sanchez. And Jalen Baldwin. Heidi Lopez. Melanie Martin. No, Andrew Duran. Andrew Duran. Nicholas Carrillo. And then Andrea Marin. These are 10 students who you will hear asking questions. So thank you very much. And we are really, really excited. I know they've been waiting for this moment. So just say smile and say cheese. Okay, thank you. Let's go back to our seats, please.
And so the last announcement before we get officially started, up here on this PowerPoint that we're running right behind us, we have the chosen 20 questions. And so these 10 students, their questions were sent to a panel, a judging panel, and these were the top 10 students, and each of them submitted 2 questions to us. And they are on this PowerPoint, and they are also in English and in Spanish. And so that we wanted to make sure that everyone here could be able to read the questions that these students are asking the astronauts. And so they'll rotate through as each person is saying their question, and the lovely Miss Paige over there is our PowerPoint clicker person. Sound good? You excited? I'm excited. This really, to me, feels like New Year's Eve when we're waiting for midnight to happen. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes until we're going to start calling them. So we're going to start getting ready here really soon. And as soon as they start calling, you're going to want to get quiet.
Oh wait, not yet.
NA1SS. This is KN6 Charlie Hotel Sierra. NA1SS, NA1SS. This is KN6 CHS. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Kilo November 6 Charlie Hotel Sierra. NA1SS, NA1SS. This is KN6 Charlie Hotel Sierra. NA1SS, NA1SS. This is KN6 CHS. NA1SS, NA1SS. This is KN6 Charlie Hotel Sierra. Over. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Kilo November 6 Charlie Hotel Sierra. Buongiorno Luca, we hear you. You're coming in a little quiet, but we can hear you. This is KN6 CHS. Over. Okay, we're going to start with the first question from Demarian.
Hey, my name is Amara, and my question is, how long does it take to get back to Earth? Over.
It takes about 2 hours. We are back on the ground in about 3 hours. One revolution, and then we burn. We do the orbit burn, and then we are landing about an hour and a half later. Over.
Hi, my name is Melody, and my question is, what encouraged you to be a scientist? Over.
So actually I am not a scientist. My background is I'm a taxi pilot. I became more of a scientist and I became an astronaut. I've always, what makes me curiosity, I've always been curious. I want to know how things work. And so that's what encouraged me over to the science.
Hi, I am Savannah. My question is, how does it feel to be in space? Over. Over.
Well, we are always very trained for nature. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have a very long exercise where we simulate that we are in nature, whether it's a fire or a toxic spill or maybe a different sensation, and we train to make sure that we know how to execute our plans. And we can always come back to Earth. Over.
Hi, I'm Haiti, and my question is, do you celebrate any holidays up in space? Over.
Celebrate about 2 holidays per expedition. So in the first 6 months, we get 2 holidays and we get to pick which one we want to do. Over.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and my question is, what did you study when you were growing up? Over.
Hey, it's a very good question. So in high school, I went to, in Europe we have this thing called scientific high school. And then after that, I went to the Italian Air Force Academy, and at Air Force Academy I studied political sciences and aeronautics.
question is, what do you need to be worried or alert about when on a spaceship? Over.
We need to be worried or alerted about emergencies that can happen. And either the space station reacts on its own, or we have the ground alerting us. The ground controllers or the mission control, they have all sorts of sensors that they can wake us up if we need to. Over.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and my question is, what are the most important jobs in the space station? Over.
I personally think that the most important job is fixing the toilet, because everybody needs it. Over.
Hi, my name is Nicholas, and my question is, do the astronauts at the ISS get older faster or slower, or is it aging the same? Over.
Well, it's kind of controversial. While we are here, it feels like we're all in very, very good shape, but the science right now says that most of us actually tend to age faster while we are on the space station. Over.
Hi, I'm Andrea. My question is, how do you communicate with your family and do you ever miss them? Over.
I miss them all the time. All the time. I have two young daughters about your age. One is 9, one is 10, and one is 13. And I really, really miss them. But I get to talk to them every day. I call them on the phone through internet protocol by the radar band, and then I also get to see them once a week. Over.
Hey, my name's Damara, and my question is, how do you sleep and where do you sleep? Over.
So we sleep in our sleeping bags that are floating inside our little crew quarters. They're about the size of a shower cabin, of a shower box, and it's actually very comfortable. Over.
Hi, my name is Melody, and my question is, when you were younger, did you want to be an astronaut? Over.
Absolutely, Melody. That's all I've always wanted to be. But I also wanted to fly and be a pilot. I always wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a lot of things. So I guess I just followed one of those dreams. Over.
Hi, I'm Savannah. My question is, how did you become an astronaut? Over.
Well, so my career was a flying career. First I was a fighter pilot, then I became a test pilot, which is a person that flies on experimental aircraft. And then when the European Space Agency made a call for astronauts, I applied, went through a selection, and after about a year of testing, I was selected together with 5 classmates. Over.
Hi, Martin. And my question is, what do you do when you take a break in space? Over.
I would say that most of us, those rare times that we do have a break, we like to make phone calls to the ground to our family, but the best thing to do probably, or the most common thing to do, is to look out the window and watch the Earth floating passing by below us. Over.
Hi, I'm Haiti, and my question is, can you do your work in space without your work floating away? Over.
Well, we have to restrain everything that we do. So we have Velcro, we have bungee cords, we have tape, double-sided tape, or just plain old duct tape, and we use everything we can so that our work doesn't float away. Over.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and my question is, who would you thank for helping you to accomplish your dreams? Over.
The whole world, because it takes everybody to have a space station like this one. I thank my family, I thank my wife, my daughters, I thank my country for educating me. So really, and all the space agencies for selecting me for building the spacecraft and the ISS. So I really thank everybody, including you, for your questions. Over.
Hi, I'm Melanie, and my question is, how do you get ready to go into space? Over.
Well, you train for about 18 months or a year and a half, at least a year and a half, to learn all about the space station, about the systems, about the experiments you're going to do, about the science, about the technology, about the exploration, and then you do a lot of simulations so that you always know how to react in case of emergency. Over.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and my question is, how is it that you guys get your food supply? Over.
Well, we have a cargo spacecraft. We have these little spaceships that are launched from the ground, and they're full of food and experiments, clothing, everything that we need to be here up on the space station and work. And then they get here, and we take all the good cargo, and then we fill it with trash. And that's how we get rid of the trash. Except for one of the cargo spacecraft called Dragon, that one actually goes back to the ground and brings back all the
Hi, I'm Nicholas, and my question is it dangerous to flip upside down after you're finished eating? Over.
Well, there is an upside down in orbit when you're weightless. Everything is in the direction that you want it to be. So you're eating in an orientation, and when you're done, you go flip around, and nothing changes. Over.
Hi, I'm Andrea. My question is, how did you feel saying goodbye to your family and boarding the space station? Over.
Oh, well, it never gets easy. It never gets easy to say goodbye to your family, to my daughters, to my wife, to the loved ones. But actually, I am happy that it never gets easy and it gets harder. I'm happy because it means that we still care, that we still love each other, and that we have something to move forward when we go back to the ground. Over.
All right, thank you, Luca. We're gonna have everybody say goodbye to you. So 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. Thank you so much for your radio questions.
Boys and girls, children, I'd like your attention for just a moment. Just in case you forgot, I'm Jacqueline Hamilton with Congresswoman Karen Bass's office. And one of the things that the astronaut said, Luca Parmitano, was in answer to the question of how did you get to be an astronaut? Well, it turns out that his career was looking at science, doing science, going to a science high school, and then I don't know if you heard, but he said that he went to the Air Force Academy. Now, he didn't go to the U.S. Air Force Academy. I'm sure he went to one either in other countries in Europe or in Italy, where he's from. But the United States has an Air Force Academy too. And it's a place you can go for college. In fact, you can get a complete scholarship to go there if you qualify. But one of the things that you have to do in order to go to the Air Force Academy is be prepared, be thinking, exercise leadership. So look around at school. Is there a club that you can join? Is there a way that you can get involved? Maybe you want to start a club. Maybe you want to see a problem that you want to get involved in. Those things all matter because if you want to go to the Air Force Academy and be an astronaut, they're going to look at a few special things. They're going to look at, are you physically fit? Because you can imagine it's really hard to be up on a space station, right? You got to be moving around in all dimensions, up, down, back, forward. You got to be in good shape. So are you physically fit? Are you smart? They really want to know. Do you know the things that you need to know? And did you learn in school about science and mathematics and humanities and how to be a good person? Because you're all living cheek by jowl. So they're going to look at, are you smart? And then you have to just go through the process. The final one is, are you a leader? Have you exercised leadership? Is there a place in your life like this where you took a chance, you submitted a question because, hey, I don't know, I've got something I want to know, and then you were selected, and then you had the bravery to come up at the front of the stage and talk to an astronaut many, many miles above us. So those are opportunities to exercise leadership. So if when the time comes, you're ready, you're done with high school and you're ready to graduate and you're thinking about where you want to go, think about the Air Force Academy. There's also a Naval Academy and an Army Academy in Annapolis and West Point. And when you're ready, you can come to our office for help in getting a nomination in order to be able to go. So I want you, just in case this lit a little spark in your heart about how you want to be an astronaut, you want to be a test pilot like Luca was, then you can talk to our office and we can figure out if there's a way we can help you.
Thank you. So again, can we give a round of applause to Jacqueline Hamilton? She's Senior Counsel to Congressmember Karen Bass. I also want to thank her staff, Dylan Ewu, Senior Field Rep, She's Navy veteran and Wounded Warrior Fellow. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I want to thank our amateur radio staff from Hughes. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. I also want to thank our USC staff, DJ Cass and her staff. Can we say thank you? Can we say thank you, boys and girls? We also have our Director of Schools, Dr. Pratt, in the back, who came, who has been very supportive in our school's mission. I also want to thank Ms. Bacaro, and I want to thank, you know what? I want to thank all our teachers, because without them, we would, what would we do? We would be coming to school and there'd be no teachers. So thank you, teachers. We're not going to go yet. There's so many people we want to thank, and our teachers work hard on a daily basis to provide you the opportunities, the experiences that you need to get you to space travel. You know, I know that we can all do it. I know that you can do it if you set your mind to it. We have so many activities that USC provides to us every single day, right? Your experiences, you experience science, you experience reading, music, art, even yoga to help you meditate and think and reflect about what you want to do. Now you have something that can spark curiosity in the sciences and in amateur radio. You can be anything you want. You know why? Because we are providing you those experiences. Now you just need to take advantage of them. And remember, like I always said during Student of the Month, just know what is required and do it. I know you can do it because you show us on a daily basis that you are the best students, right? Right. Okay, so I also want to thank you because you know what? You make me so proud on a daily basis, and you know you do. And today, you made me a very proud, not only educator, but a principal. And I am so, so honored to be your principal, so humbled by it. And I want to thank everyone here who has made this possible. We eat, yes. Come on over, come on over. There's just certain people that have been here more than one time, several times a day. Can you go over their names, DJ Cass, please?
Well, if you have a program, all of your names are in there as well. So my name is DJ Cass, and I'm from USC's Joint Educational Project. And before I introduce the others, I would like for two people in this room to quickly stand up because they also provided some of the funds to make today happen. And so one would be Noel Ellis from Raytheon and Carolina Castillo from the Good Neighbors campaign. So let's thank them as well. I just wanted to add to all of the thank yous that we had today. So we have Daryl over here. He's a retired teacher and a radio enthusiast and has been here since day one helping us out. We have Ms. Rita Barricott over there who wrote the proposal. We have Liam Kennedy, the inventor of the ISS above. We have the YSP staff as well, so go ahead and wave because there's a few of you. And then we could not have done this without all of the time and commitment and equipment of all of our amateur radio enthusiasts here. So Norm, we have volunteers back there that showed up today too. We have Alice and Denise and David Abelson. So just thank you all very, very much. Before we dismiss you, we would like to get a picture with all of you in the background. And so we're going to line up up the 10 chosen question winners up front here, and then all of you are going to be in the background. And then afterwards, we will dismiss you, and don't forget that you need to take home your International Space Station keychain. Sound good?